Hi, this is Yvonne, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how to stay motivated. There are 5 ways that I've learned to stay motivated, and I'd love to share them with you. You're going to learn how to stay motivated more consistently so that you can get results and be more productive. The first way to stay motivated is build your self-esteem. Your self-esteem is the reputation you have with yourself. And so you build up that reputation you have with yourself when you keep the promises you've made to yourself. However, you slowly chip away at that reputation with yourself when you consistently break those promises to yourself. Your self-esteem suffers. And when your self-esteem suffers, your motivation goes along with it. So how do you know when you have low self-esteem? Because most people don't usually think of a low self-esteem when it comes to themselves. They believe, oh, my self-esteem is fine. There's nothing wrong with me with that area. And yet they have the symptoms. So what are the symptoms that the root cause may be a low self-esteem? First of all, low motivation, okay? So a lack of or low motivation can possibly be that you've been creating a habit of breaking that promise to yourself, and that reputation to yourself is suffering, your self-esteem is lacking. Another symptom is your conversations are a little bit more negative, anger, frustration, irritability, anxiety, stress. So when you're living a life that's not aligned to those values that you have, then that reputation with yourself is suffering, your self-esteem is suffering, your motivation goes down along with it. And here's an example. Let's say you've been meaning to switch careers, and you realize that the day you set that for yourself, that you're going to change careers to something more passionate, has been quite some time. Days have turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, and still nothing. No changes to bring you towards that career that's more aligned with your values, and you notice that your motivation is low. Well, how do you pick yourself back up? Well, it's the activities you do every day that incrementally bring you to your goal that's really going to shift things for you. And you're essentially putting this reputation coin back into your self-esteem bank. Each time you take an activity that's leading you towards achieving that goal. And so there's always a win. And so you build that reputation with yourself back up, and you're going to start seeing that motivation to creep back up along with that. And so how do you do that? Well, let's say, again, you're looking for a career change, and you first brainstorm in ways that you can make that happen. And so one idea would be maybe to take some training to further your skills, to set yourself up to be able to step into that career. A second way is you update your resume, take a look at it, dust it off, and there may be some transferable skills that you have currently in your career that you can apply to that new career, and your resume would reflect that. The third way is networking. Maybe you spend some time to update your LinkedIn profile, reach out and call or text some friends or some old colleagues, and set up some meetup groups in the area that you're interested in. And see, these are ways that you can network so that you get closer to where you want to be with the people that are maybe already have already achieved that goal. And so every time you take a step towards it, you're going to start seeing, oh my gosh, you get excited, your motivation's coming back on. And that's because your self-esteem is growing back. You're healing that part of yourself. And so certainly staying motivated is an effect of a happy and healthy self-esteem. The second way you can stay motivated is with commitment and discipline. So you're going to want to redefine what motivation means to you. You see, most people, when they think of motivation, they think of feelings and emotions. The last thing they think about is commitment and discipline. But hear me out for a moment. You see, the reason why the feelings and emotions definition of motivation doesn't work for me is because feelings and motivations change, and they change many times during the course of a day. And so it's not stable for you to base your motivation on something that ebbs and flows and changes. You're going to want to anchor your motivation to something that's going to be more consistent. And so that's where you can redefine motivation so that commitment and discipline is the driver of your motivation. For example, let's say you want to get to the gym because you want to be more healthy, and yet you realize that you don't get there because you don't feel like it. But if you redefine your definition of motivation to commitment and discipline, then no matter what happens, at a certain time, at a certain date that you set for yourself, you're going to go. And it doesn't matter how you feel because you've shifted this to a must, not a nice to have. So for example, in my case, I had made a commitment to get to the gym after work. And so when I relied on my feelings and emotions, when I didn't feel like it, I didn't show up. I was like, oh, I'm not motivated. I don't feel like it, so I'm not motivated, and therefore I'm not going to go. I'm tired, I'm going to go just watch TV. Well, you see, that didn't work. I didn't get any results, and I stayed at that weight, and I was frustrated with myself. But when I said, no, I'm going to make this a must, I must go to the gym, then everything shifted for me. I started planning for my events at the gym. I got an accountability partner, my friend to go with me. I also signed up with personal training so that I have that accountability and that commitment to get to the gym. The third way is you've got to know your why. You see, if you have a strong reason to have a goal, then that's going to be your anchor, and it's going to be the solidarity that keeps you going when everything is shifting and changing around you. That's going to be that grounding effect that you need to maintain that stability, to keep pushing towards your goal. And so in my example, my why for my health and fitness goal is not just to have my target weight on the scale be met. Yeah, that's important. I mean, looking good is important, but I had to have a deeper why so I can show up more consistently to choosing a better nutrition for myself and choosing to be more active. As I thought about it, and I didn't have to think about it, it's not something that just came to me, but I thought to myself, why do I really want to have a healthy and fit lifestyle? Okay, so I want to weigh a certain weight, I want to look great and feel good, I want to have confidence. And then slowly, the more I asked myself that, the more I realized, well, because I want to set an example for my kids. My kids are so young, and as the matriarch of this family, I feel like I can make a generational shift and really make a difference, not just for me, but for my children. And if my children get these habits, their children's children, and really set us up for success to be the family that really sees and values health and nutrition. See, this is bigger than me. And because it's bigger than me, I'm going to show up more often and I'm going to be committed. And so really think about, and I want to challenge you to think of, okay, here's your goal. What is your why? What is that grounding effect that's going to keep you going when everything in your life is changing? The fourth way that you can stay motivated is positive self-talk. Self-talk is that inner dialogue that you have with yourself. And so you have to ask yourself, are you your best cheerleader or are you your worst critic? You know, there's a saying that says, you are what you eat. But there's a similar saying that says, you become what you think about. So ask yourself and really be aware, what are those thoughts, the predominant thoughts that come through your mind? So there's a study that says there's about 50 to 60,000 thoughts that we have in any given day. And so these thoughts pass through our mind. And which ones do we pick? Because we don't have to select every thought. We don't have to believe every thought that comes through our mind. We can select the ones that are serving us and let go of the ones that don't. And ensure that this inner dialogue that we have with ourselves is positive, it's encouraging, it's saying, you know what, I can do this. Even though there might be that negative Nelly in there, well, shut it down and remind yourself that it's possible. Anything is possible. For example, let's say you have a goal to have an emergency fund, and there's this negative talk that keeps saying, you know what, you can't do this. It's impossible. You don't make enough money, and there's no way you can save because you're spending everything. And then also, it's challenging with all of the responsibilities that you have to be able to save extra. There's no extra. But if you think, well, you know what, that's fine. That's my reality right now. But every day I'm becoming, and I don't have to be that person in the past. I can choose different. And so what's possible? Well, it's possible for you to maybe set up a budget and see where there's waste, right? So with that budget, black and white, you can start this assessment on where there's waste and eliminate unnecessary spending. You could change your lifestyle maybe. Instead of being a consumer and finding your entertainment by shopping in the mall, find your entertainment by walking in the park. There, you don't have to spend money for that. And then also you can think of other streams of income that you can do on the side to generate income so that you can funnel that to your emergency savings. And then by the time you know it, you do have this 3 to 6 months emergency savings for yourself. Because you've chosen to think differently, your words change and then your actions along with it. So it creates a domino effect. The fifth way we can stay consistently motivated is applying what I call consistent optimism. And what that really is always seeking the hidden lesson for you in every challenge and obstacle you face. There's always a silver lining. And so always seeing that obstacle and challenge as, oh, here's an opportunity for me to grow. Here's an opportunity for me to step up. But there's a lesson for me in this. Look for that. And if you are able to be a better person because of that challenge and see that you're going to get through it, and it's the person you become at the end of it that's the most important thing, instead of wishing it to go away, that's going to help you become a better version of yourself. And so it's a choice. It's a choice to see the gift in everything. And it's a gift because you're going to grow as a person, whether you want to or not, because that challenge is going to force you to grow. You know, I've created a goal-setting workbook that'll really support you in this journey to help create and develop your goals so that you can really live that purpose that you have for yourself. Go ahead and click on the link below so that you can have access to this free workbook that I created just for you. Also, click on the like button so that others have an opportunity to have access to this tool so that they're also able to maintain that consistent optimism. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing so that you're notified on new videos on leadership, personal development, and so much more.